On the 22nd episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast, we're going to talk about some Thanksgiving NFL news, some MLB trades, NCAA football, NBA in-season tournament and news, and we're going to do NFL pick'ems and end it off with some Hall of Fame, yay or nay. Roll it.
It's the podcast of all time.
So you guys want to talk about that? Introducing your hosts, Isaiah
And Micah, bringing you a special guest every episode. We are the HatTrick Sports Podcast.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so today's special guest, we have Andy. Tell them about yourself, Andy.
I don't know what to tell you about myself other than I am obviously a Philadelphia native, transplanted down to Florida. I've been cursed with having to follow every Philadelphia sports team, which recently is not so terrible. But trust me, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Eagles, when they're in the NFC least a few years ago.
When we were the least of the NFC,
Yes.
NFC at least for decades. So, So I own an employee leasing payroll company,
AYS,
and big supporter of lacrosse. I'm a lacrosse official for women's lacrosse. Big supporter for Israel lacrosse. Although I'm not supposed to talk about anything like that.
No.
And then. What else do I do? Those are my big sports focuses.
Yep.
So, Florida State fan. Used to be a Penn State fan when I lived in Pennsylvania.
Then
we moved to Florida.
And now that Florida's 4 seed, you're a Florida State fan.
Penn State's
No,
11.
you guys are so freaking young. Like, I stopped being a Penn State fan after Penn State beat the pants off of Miami in the Fiesta Bowl back when Vinny Testaverde was their quarterback, and moved to Florida, and then all of a sudden you feel like trying to support Penn State from this far away, and everybody's either a Gators, Hurricanes, or a Seminoles fan, and it seemed that the only logical choice was the intelligence of the FSU fans.
Yeah.
So I became an FSU fan
That's
way back when, oh dear Lord, McManus was their quarterback at the time, and Burt Reynolds was still alive and buying uniforms for the for the Seminoles. So, no fair-weathered fan. You can't be a Philadelphia fan and be a fair. Well, I guess nowadays you could, but not a fair-weather fan.
All right, so what do you guys want to dive into first?
Let's go NFL. We got a few things.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened in the NFL.
Yeah.
We're going to do our pick'ems later, but they're going to be 3 or 4 short because we're not going to do the Thanksgiving games or the Friday game. So it's going to be a low record. And I forgot to look at the records, but I believe I won last week.
I think you did.
I won last week against Bird, who was our last guest. So when we do our pick'ems later, you have the chance to be in the HatTrick Hall of Fame by having the first win on pick'ems in week 12.
The Eagles won.
So anyway, with NFL, I think the biggest news associated with the NFL is their halftime shows and the big difference between all 3 of them. So Andy, did you watch any of the halftime shows?
No.
He did not.
The Eagles did not play.
The Eagles did not play, therefore Andy did not watch them.
Yeah, and all the teams I wanted to lose didn't. So it was a disappointing football weekend.
Yeah.
Or week.
Especially as a Seahawks fan. But Jack Harlow did the, what was it, 1 o'clock game?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first game, and his setup looked like
He had an inflatable igloo. That's it. He
had
literally had an inflatable igloo.
I saw some memes.
Yeah.
Of like what the NFL saw, or what you saw if you were at the
And
game.
then for the field.
And it was way different.
I got my sister a little Frozen play set for $14.99 at Target last year, and somehow Jack Harlow got it for his halftime show. I don't understand how it got lost, and I'm going to have to talk to my sister about that one. But, yeah. And then Dolly Parton had
$400,000 set up.
Yeah, so what I think is Dolly Parton had a 70% budget of the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, probably.
And Jack Harlow had a 5% budget of the Super Bowl halftime show.
Probably less than that.
And I don't know whose fault that is, but I think next year they have to fix that.
He had an igloo and a smoke machine.
So the best thing I saw from that Dallas Cowboys thing was a meme that had that said, "I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan, but it was pretty classy of them to honor the surviving cheerleader from their last Super Bowl win in Dolly Parton." So.
Talking about Dolly Parton.
Yes.
But yeah, Dolly Parton's
Stupid cat.
77, and how old's Jack Harlow?
Like, I don't know, 25?
25,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, 25.
So, but Dolly Parton looked doing good. I know you didn't watch it, but Dolly Parton was
Dolly
like,
Parton looks good.
no, like she was stumbling around, but she's standing still at 77. And but yeah, she did good. And then Jack Harlow, I like the songs, I guess, but I think the way he performed it wasn't the best.
What could he do? He had an inflatable igloo and a
Did you
smoke
see the guy
machine.
behind him?
I don't know what that guy was doing.
So
I don't know what that
there was a guy behind him that looked like a fan that kind of ran on the field and was just behind him, like.
It was like his hype man, I think. I don't even know.
But it was one guy.
Yeah.
They hired
Well-
one guy from the stands to like just be behind
Well,
him.
they didn't have a budget over $50, so they kind of had to get what
When
they
you
got.
walk into these stadiums, they give you the chance for raffles and stuff
yeah.
like that. So that guy probably was the man who.
Yeah.
He was the third winner of
They
the
gave him a
raffle.
jacket,
was
too.
The consolation prize.
Yeah. But and the Packers Lions game, I mean that was
That was a crazy game.
that was a crazy game with what was I gonna say?
Green Bay winning?
Yeah, well,
was Green Bay killing them?
well, yeah. Obviously Green Bay winning, but Deron Bland sets the NFL.
That's for the Cowboys game.
Oh no, that was the Cowboys game. But with the Packers defense, I mean, how many interceptions did they have that game? Like,
3.
yeah, I think it was
2, 3.
uh
It was a lot.
It was many.
Yeah, especially for a defense not that good.
All I could think of was like, it's a nice traditional Thanksgiving day.
yeah, with the Lions,
With the Lions
losing.
losing, yes.
Yeah, it was three interceptions.
Yeah,
But
and no Jair Alexander. So losing the cornerback 1 and still getting 3 picks.
It's like the Eagles losing to the Jets. When the Jets didn't have
You lost to
Sauce
Zach
Gardner
Wilson.
And,
Lost to Zach Wilson.
exactly.
yeah.
The shame.
Andy, what are your thoughts on Jason Kelsey retiring or maybe retiring?
I would it's funny. I had this conversation the other day. Was that the Eagles actually have four potential retirees at the end of this season, between least likely Lane Johnson, but then you've got Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and then Jason Kelsey. And
Yeah.
if all goes according to plan, I think you'll see 3 of them retire at the end of this
Well,
year.
Ooh.
Just because the plan would be to win a Super Bowl.
I don't think Lane
And they would
Johnson's
be-
gonna
no,
leave.
and
though.
he would be the one.
Yeah.
He'd be the one that wouldn't. He's still way at the
I thought
top.
wasn't
top of
Fletcher
the
Cox supposed to retire last season too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And Brandon Graham, they both
Yeah.
restructured to take to come back and
Yeah.
and play.
Take a
But,
big hit to the defensive line.
but I mean, Kelsey's amazing. He had one down year. I think it was probably he was injured a little bit, but he still kept playing through it. And it was the last year Andy Reid was the head coach, and we had a bat, and people were thinking, man, Kelsey's gone, and boy, he was just at the beginning of his. And the stretch now that you watch him play, I mean, he gets out there just as fast as he always does. He's just as dominant in moving people around and making the calls and doing what he's supposed to do. So, but he doesn't need football anymore.
No.
He's good.
He and his brother have their podcast. They've voted potentially sexiest man alive, all this other good stuff. He's not the one dating Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need. He would be the first person I think that would retire and then get put into the Eagles Hall of Fame ring or whatever, ring of Hall of Fame or whatever, within hours.
Do you think that
And he never has to buy a meal in Philadelphia.
Do you think that the reason these guys aren't retiring yet is because they're so close to a Super Bowl win and they're just waiting, hoping this year's the
Well, they already
year?
got one. Most
Yeah.
guys already got one.
Yeah, all of those guys have a Super Bowl
Yeah.
victory, but I think
to end it with a Super Bowl,
I think that they would like to go out on top. I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't? Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
The funny thing is if you look at the roles all of those guys have, they don't need to retire,
yeah,
but it would be a great storybook ending. So it's a funny thing if they don't. Again, like I said, between Graham and Cox restructuring just to come back. Cox has made mention that since Jalen Carter's there, and Jordan Davis is really playing better, even better than he did before. When prior to him getting injured last year, he feels like he's young again and he's rejuvenated and whatnot. These guys have legs to keep playing in the NFL and have roles to play. I mean, look, if Linval Joseph played half a year with the Eagles last year, and who's he playing with? I think he got signed by the Bills halfway through the year or somebody. He's playing. That could be Fletcher Cox going into the foreseeable future. But I think if the Eagles win and there's no reason to that ability to go out on top, I think they go out on top.
I feel like the Eagles have a good backup at every position, but for Jason Kelce.
Cam Jurgens is he's now their right guard, and he's the right guard only because Jason Kelce is still there. So
they just move him.
Yeah, they'll move him over, and they've got some good replacements there at that right guard spot. They as long as they have Jeff Stoutland, who's their offensive line coach, who's been there since Chip Kelly was the coach. They're going to just keep producing very, very high quality top end NFL offensive line talent.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles have always had a good offensive line.
One thing I do want to get back into is the Deron Bland NFL record. He has 5 pick sixes so far this season, and
I think he's got more touchdowns than Dak, don't he? Probably not, but
potentially.
As an Eagles fan, he had to say that.
As an Eagles fan, he has to say that. But he definitely has more touchdowns than quite a few wide receivers in the league.
He has more touchdowns than everyone on the Chiefs, Cardinals, Ravens, Panthers, Colts, Jags, Rams, Falcons, Saints, Seahawks, and Titans, and more touchdowns than every receiver on the Giants combined, Jets combined, and Browns combined.
All right, I'm going to say this now. NFL, if this player doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year, you are absolutely stupid and a horrible organization. But Micah disagrees with me.
I do not disagree.
Oh, I thought, okay.
I want TJ Watt to win it, but he doesn't deserve to win it over a guy like Deron Bland who has 5 pick sixes.
5. And
dude,
it's only week 12.
Yeah.
How many more is he going to get? 2 more? All right, he's going to get 7, and that's 1.5 times as the record in NFL history.
I don't even know.
So, he should win Defensive Player of the Year, and if NFL voters vote otherwise, they should be fired and never be allowed to talk about the NFL again.
Yep.
So there's that.
Unless he gets injured. That's the only way I can see him not winning it.
What are your thoughts, Andy?
He's a Cowboy.
Yeah.
So, no, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. I don't know why people haven't, and maybe they have, pump fake at him a little bit, because if you watch his interceptions, you watch the highlights of it, he's taking a running start towards a lot of these picks. And, man, they used to do that to the Eagles a lot. The pump fake, and, man, our cornerbacks, they would fall out of their shoes, and the guy would be wide open 50 yards down the field because we sucked cornerback.
You could thank Jalen for stopping that.
But it'll be interesting. But you got to think that I can't be the only person to think of that. And the guy's playing out of this.
I mean, he has 30 points on defense. 30 defensive points.
Yeah,
and thank you, because I have Cowboys defense at fantasy. So every time you do that, I get 6 points.
So I'm not surprised that he has more than the Chiefs. You have to catch the ball.
Yeah.
And he does. He catches the ball more than
one that caught me off guard was the Jags. Christian Cousin, Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram, none of them. And Seahawks too. I mean, that's tough to do. And the Browns combined.
They're going to do what they do with Dion. When Dion used to be a defensive back for the Cowboys and start playing him on offense.
Yeah.
So, Mikey, you told us something. Could the Broncos and Packers make the playoffs?
So the Broncos, they're 5-5, and they play the Browns, Texans, Chargers, Lions, Pats, Chargers again, and then the Raiders.
So the Lions are the only hard team in that.
Well, I think so. They're 5-5. I think they beat the Browns, so that's 6-5. Then lose to the Texans, lose to the Chargers, and lose to the Lions. So now they're 6-8. But then I think they win out and beat the Pats, the Chargers, and the Raiders. So that brings them to 9-8, which they could possibly get a playoff spot.
Okay.
Is that which team?
What? Which one?
Who are you talking about?
Broncos.
The Broncos.
And then the Packers. Yeah. What are your? Because that's a tough one.
They're 4-5, and they played the Chiefs, the Giants, the Bucks, the Panthers, the Vikings, and then the Bears.
So I doubt they'll make
They're
the
4-5. They're probably gonna lose to the Chiefs. I think they beat the Giants. I think they beat the Bucks. I think they beat the Panthers. They probably lose to the Vikings, and then I think they beat the Bears again. So and then that brings them to 9-8. So it's gonna be close.
At 9-8, I think you got to be a division. You got to be a division winner to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like right now, the Saints are what 5-5.
Yeah.
So you always have that one. You always have that one division.
Yeah.
That's always like below.
Yeah.
Below 500, but
It's always
but they're hosting a playoff.
It's always
game.
the NFC South now.
Yeah, well, it's a lot. Typically, it's just pick it. There's usually one division on both. That every single year, you're looking at teams that are 11-4 or whatever. I can't do the math.
And that team's like the AFC North.
11-5 or whatever, and they're missing the playoffs. But then a team that's 7-9 is getting into the playoffs.
So the AFC North is everybody's 500 or above. So do you think the Steelers and Bengals will make the playoffs?
Bengals no, Steelers yes.
Okay.
Browns no.
That is okay.
Browns no, Steelers yes.
Can you tell he's a Steelers fan?
There's a little wishful thinking. Although, look, you got rid of the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the only problem, but the biggest problem.
Yeah, well, the biggest problem was the country to the north of them. So,
So Micah, your offensive coordinator got
Finally.
kicked, Matt Canada.
Took a while. But
One thing I came across of, and I agree with them now because I fact checked them and everything, is the Dolphins are. And I know this is another hot take after last week. The Dolphins are the most overrated team in the NFL.
Yep, I agree with that. I 100% agree
So
with that.
the Dolphins, what are the Dolphins? Yeah, the Dolphins are 8-3, and I have every single game they've played. So they beat the Chargers only by 2. They beat the Patriots. They beat the Broncos. They lost to the Bills by 28. They beat the Giants, Panthers, and lost to the Eagles. Give me fist bump. Okay. They beat the Patriots and lost to the Chiefs and beat the Raiders and Jets. So they really,
Absolute nobodies.
so yeah, they beat
kind of
horrible
like the Cowboys.
teams,
Yeah, honestly.
but they're losing to these good teams. So do they deserve to be? I know people in the comments are going to think, hey, they're probably one of the best teams in the AFC, but are they? If they're not,
No, but they'll make the playoffs and they'll get spanked by like a 6 seed.
yeah. So
And I want to see it happen.
Careful, those are fighting words to a chiropractic friend. I
Steelers might get the 6 seed, so we could potentially see a Dolphins-Steelers matchup. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dolphins lost.
yeah.
I don't think they will, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
Do you guys have anything else on NFL?
Nah, I got nothing else.
So here's a quick question.
Oh.
It's introspective, philosophical. So go back a few years. Nobody ever used to go for it on fourth down. Now there's a lot of teams that go for it on
Dan
fourth
Campbell.
down. Oh, just
Fake punts.
Well, exactly. And you watch the FSU game. If it wasn't for a delay of game last night, they had a beginning of the game fake punt.
Yeah.
That they're doing on fourth down. A lot of teams are going for it on fourth down. So what used to be really taboo and used to be an ultra conservative league, but all of a sudden teams started going for it on fourth down. And I'm not going to take credit for it personally, but the Eagles, I think, with Doug Peterson in the year
I mean, you have a touch
2017,
push. You have a touch push.
they went
so.
a lot of games where they were going for it on fourth down. So now at the end of the game, though, teams still are staying ultra conservative.
Well,
They will go into the prevent defense
Yep.
at the end of a game. They know when they just we only need like 2 first downs in order to run the clock out. So what do? Run play, run play, run play. So how is it? And what's it going to take, or is it going to take? Will it ever catch on? I mean, we used to think that going for it on fourth down would never happen, but now everybody does it. How soon is it that you're going to take advantage? A team will take advantage of we need to get that first down, and instead do a play action pass on first down, and all of a sudden stop the run.
catch them off guard. Probably get a pass down deep.
But nobody's doing it though. That's
Yeah.
the weird thing.
Yeah.
It's like on one hand, these same teams that are willing to break the conservatism of the
Yeah, you're going like
of
all out
fourth
blitz.
down, but now at the end of the game, they go back to that football for dummies book
Yeah.
Yeah.
and look in there. You think that's ever going to change, or
I mean, it evolves just like the fourth thing, and I think everything's going to evolve, and that's going to be the new fourth down thing, and then people are going to be like you after that. But, I mean, I think every possible thing will eventually happen sometime in NFL history. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing how it's still stuck there. Like
Yeah.
I said, just so many different taboos are being broken.
yeah, what's the NFL, only 100 years old or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, think about in 800 years if it's still a thing. Like,
Yeah, right. So. Hello.
oh. That is Andy's ringtone.
All right, so that's all I have for the NFL. Thanks.
All right. Let's go on to MLB. Nothing really super exciting. Paul
Yeah.
DeJong to White Sox and Suarez to Diamondbacks. That's really it. I think in the
there's
next
not much.
week or two.
Ranger Suarez is still on the Phillies, by the way.
What?
I said Ranger Suarez is still
Yeah.
on the Phillies.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the only Suarez I give a
Eugenio.
crap about.
yeah, and different Suarez. Oh. That'll. But yeah, I think in the next week or two we'll see Shohei and Yamamoto go to a team. But
They're not going to the same team.
no, but all right, two things. Number one, in that statement I meant two different teams. But do you think because Yamamoto was like, hey, I want to be with another Asian?
Kodai.
Yeah. So do you think they'll be on the same team?
Yeah, he'll go to the Mets with Kodai.
All right.
I think Yamamoto was a pretty sick battleship. I don't know anything about baseball.
Oh, okay. But
Shohan, I imagine, is Otani?
He knows 2022. That's all he needs to know.
Is that a...
no, Shohei Ohtani and
He's a free agent?
yeah.
Yeah.
He should go to Philadelphia.
All right. We've had our current guest, Zach, who was really interested in Trey Turner. Are you like attracted to Trey Turner just like Zach is?
I know he got booed a lot at the beginning of the year.
That wasn't the question, Andy.
Like physically attracted to him? No. Not in any way, shape.
What if it's a home run?
What was
Okay.
that?
What if it's a home run?
Then good for him.
All right, proceed with what you're gonna say. I just needed that out there.
Oh, all right. Well, very good. So yeah, no, I know he got booed a lot at the beginning of the year, and I think they felt like he performed well towards the end in the stretch, and then he underperformed in the playoffs.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like in the last 20 games, he was doing great, and then in the playoffs, he
Shit the bed.
yeah.
Yeah. So sorry. Beep.
Yeah. We'll leave it out.
So yeah, I was glad. I mean, I knew nothing about him last year, and
Yeah.
a certain Dodgers fan that I know was telling me how he was probably one of the best. What is he, a second baseman or a shortstop? Best shortstop in the NFL, in the MLB, and he. So I was happy. I was happy to have somebody like that in his caliber of that. It just
Yeah.
all I know is we still have Ranger Suarez.
All right.
And the other guy you told me to talk about, his last name is of the Jong. So,
What?
the young.
well, Day or
Day.
De Jong or whatever. So Day would be
Paul
of
DeJong?
of the Jong. So that's my research on him.
Paul DeJong going to the White Sox. Actually, he's still pending a physical. So,
Oh, is he? Is it
yeah.
not official?
He's still pending a physical.
I mean, I don't think.
he'll probably. It
Other
probably
than he's
doesn't matter.
older. Oh, what about Reese Hoskins, done with Philly? What are you?
Yeah.
You are
Yeah,
the perfect guess. I'm glad I just remembered that.
Because
Well, he didn't play last year at all,
and they said Bryce gonna stay at first base.
Bryce Harper's going to stay at first. So Reese
which is
Hoskins,
weird. He does not look
Yeah,
good
I
on
don't-
first base. But oh well. And Hoskins was a tremendously productive player for Philadelphia when he was in the
There.
lineup.
yeah, when he
So
was.
whoever gets him is going to be really, I think,
Do you think he's at the end of his career, or like not? Obviously, he's going to go to a team, but
Do I think he's like Hall of Fame Rollins? Or no, what's that guy? Scott
Rowland.
Rowland.
Scott Rowland.
Yeah. Rollins was our shortstop. Sorry, but no. It depends how he bounces back from his from his injury and his time off.
Yeah.
He could come back and be rejuvenated and slug a bunch. Somebody who's been productive at some point at the level that he was, he'll probably find some level of success where he's going, whether it's streaky or not streaky.
what was that?
Oh, that was probably another one of my notifications. I was like, wow, you got music coming. I was like, commercial break? Is that what we're doing? So anyway, whoever gets him, Phillies can obviously move on without him. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't
he's
need
just
him.
a piece of the puzzle, so to speak. And they've if you're talking about a replacement and you got Bryce Harper who's at least able to nail first base down, then I think you're all right there. So See ya, Reese.
See you, Reese. Anything else on MLB?
You don't want Philly, we don't want you.
Is that all you guys got for baseball? All right, let's move on to our sponsors. So today's sponsor is AYS Employee Leasing.
That's not why I'm here, though. I was invited legitimately.
Yeah, no. So the owner of AYS Employee Leasing is to the left of me. Andy, talk about AYS.
Most companies in this world don't get into a business to handle employees and payroll taxes and compliance. They get into business to create a product and sell it, or to provide a service to people, and we just allow them to focus on those things while we take care of all the other stuff in the background. And we do it for a very reasonable, very inexpensive, actually, price to do that, and cover everything from their workers' comp and unemployment to HR advice as far as hiring, firing, and all that stuff.
If the Eagles didn't need to think about payroll, they would have beat the Jets.
This is true. Their payroll company must have taken the week off that week.
Yeah, that's why they lost the Jets.
They needed to do something to get it out there, and gosh darn it.
So, AYS Employee Leasing, check them out. What, you want them to hire you? I mean, I don't know how this works.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I'll take that.
Just hire the dude. Is that it? Is that all? You have like 10 more seconds if you want to talk about this.
Oh, I didn't know I was being timed.
No, you're not. You're not.
So,
all right.
Nah, we're good. That's
All right.
that's about
Use
it.
AYS.
Yep.
You just Google AYS Employee Leasing.
It'll be there.
And we should be there on the interwebs.
On the World Wide Web. All right, let's move on to Mike. You want to talk about your NBA?
NBA, I do not want to talk about.
Well, I'm making you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because Nuggets have not been doing good, but we will not talk about that. So the Magic are 11-5 this season, while going 34-48 last season. What happened? No changes to the lineup, I don't think. No big changes anyway.
I have an idea. Hey,
What happened?
Me. Pick me.
Yeah,
Pick
you.
me.
You.
They beat the Nuggets, and the Nuggets aren't good because they lost to the Magic.
The Nuggets
so
are the 5 seed. That's better than your favorite team.
I don't have a favorite.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, the Magic have definitely changed something. But I do want to talk about how the Nuggets lost to the Magic, who was obviously
And the Celtics.
and
We
the
can add
Celtics.
too. We don't have to. Celtics are the 1 seed. The Nuggets are the 4. Don't make the Nuggets seem that bad.
So yeah, the Magic are obviously very well, but they are. Oh no, that was the Thunder. You're a 76ers fan, right, Andy?
Yes.
All right.
It's like the 2 seed in the
Yeah,
East.
they're doing pretty good. James Harden.
James Harden's gone.
No, he's on the Clippers.
Oh,
Yep. They finally got rid
You
of
got Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey.
Embiid.
Maxey.
Embiid, Maxey, Covington.
Yeah.
He was part of the trade, and he's back. He used to be a Sixer for a while ago.
Tobias. Look at
Tobias
him.
Harris has been there for a long
Yeah.
time now. It's like they refused to trade him only because he was a journeyman.
No, you're not willing to trade him because you wanted him instead of Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, right.
That's why they didn't want to keep him.
All right, and then
And Ben Simmons.
Yeah. Well, he's gone. You don't have to worry
thank
about that
God.
anymore.
Yeah. Is he even in the NBA?
Yeah, Nets.
Oh, is he still?
He's still missing games half the time, but
Gotcha.
Mikey, Thunder are 11-4, but are eliminated from the in-season tournament.
yeah. So the Thunder are doing amazing. They're 11-4, and they're 1-2 in the in-season tournament, which knocked them out. So now they're eliminated from there. And here are a bunch of good teams that are eliminated from the tournament. You got the Nuggets, you got the Mavs, you got the Clippers,
Sorry.
and you got the Thunder. All good teams that don't care about the tournament, and they just got out.
Good.
So they wouldn't have to play it.
Because it's stupid.
Yes, it is. It is stupid. I'll agree with that.
Just quit.
Yeah. Like Orlando City should have done.
It's dumb.
It is.
It's a matter of trying to create some sort of buzz in the middle of the regular season, and it's
Yeah, it's not needed.
crap.
Yep. The
It was not
jerseys,
needed.
the courts.
I don't know what they're trying to do.
But, yeah. Is that it?
Yeah. I mean, there's not much.
Exciting segment.
I don't.
But you know what's an even more exciting segment?
What is?
NCAA. So we are filming this on Sunday the 26th. And yesterday was the 25th, and that's when... that's
Rivalry week.
rivalry week. So yeah, a lot has happened, or a lot did happen yesterday.
There's a lot of games in the NCAA.
The two biggest games were Florida State, and Ohio State and Michigan. Michigan's big headline is they don't have their head coach, so they were scared that they were going to lose to Ohio State.
I knew Michigan was going to win. I have text messages before the game saying I think Michigan's going to win. That's all I'm going to say. I knew it.
Okay.
I prayed Ohio State would lose. I hate Ohio State.
But yeah, Michigan beat Ohio State 30-24, and then Florida State beat Florida 24-15.
With their second and third string quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, 10 seconds left in the game, they brought the third string in, right?
Well,
At
'cause
second
Tate
and third
Rodemaker
string,
got
he was there.
injured.
Yeah,
He was in there.
yep.
He threw a
'Cause
pass.
he
that
got-
knocked down. And,
Yeah.
because he got absolutely beat up.
And then Georgia barely beating Georgia Tech.
Yeah, that was crazy.
For an in-state game like that, I feel like you have to. Oh no, I said barely. I thought it was 31-29, but it was
was
31-23.
It was closer
Bad
than
point.
that
It
towards
was.
the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was close. And then you got Alabama over Auburn on last-second touchdown on a fourth from like 35-ish.
Number
That's-
4 Washington by 3 points over unranked Washington State.
Again-
Washington State's been in and out of the rankings, though. So, like, top 30. So,
Wait, why does that say Washington's 4?
Because they are.
I
They
thought.
are.
Oh no, Florida State's 5.
yeah.
Yeah, they got knocked out of the
got knocked
rankings
out.
by the
Oh.
gurus who think they know everything that have probably never played one snap of football in their entire life.
No, they played that Pee Wee flag football when they were 7
Okay.
and a half, 7.5.
Yeah. So they said, "Oh, Florida State, can't."
The
this is-
undefeated Florida State.
Yeah,
And the undefeated Washington.
yeah.
Yeah.
The NCAA playoff is the biggest joke in the history
Yeah.
of jokes, and it has been. I think is it next year we're supposed to go to 8 games, or 8 teams?
It's like 12
12.
teams.
12.
Yeah.
Well, thank God they finally, because all these years where they said they couldn't have a playoff, since 1986.
I hear that they're
Division 2 football has had a 16-team playoff since 1986, 87.
Well, no one watches
So
D2.
they've
so.
been able to do it in D2 college. So I don't know. Oh, gee, we can't do it in D1 because we're making too much money on bowl games. So it's a joke. It's
I
an
mean-
absolute joke.
Oregon beat Oregon State 31-7. Like, that's insane. Oregon State's
And
like
these-
top 15.
These people that do the rankings are the same people who ranked WWE wrestlers. So
The fakest sport of them all.
Yeah.
But
sports entertainment.
yeah, I knew that the Eli and Peyton Manning had a younger brother, but I thought their younger brother was like 30. Turns out he's 18.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. What?
Yeah, the nephew.
Oh, it's his nephew. Oh, I thought it was their brother. Okay, it is their nephew. That was my fault. But
Yeah, he's going to go to Texas.
no, he's playing in Texas. He played a game. But yeah,
Quinn Ewers didn't want to play.
plays
so.
for Texas. How's Texas doing this season?
Texas.
Seventh?
They beat up on Texas Tech.
You just passed it.
Yeah.
Go back up.
Yep.
There it is.
Yep, there you
Top
go.
left.
Top left.
Got him. All right. Yeah.
It was close.
No.
They had him in the first half.
No.
But no. 57-7. Ark Manning beat Texas Tech. Good job, Manning family.
I mean,
What else in NCAA?
Kentucky over number 10 Louisville. That's insane. It's something that it's like Auburn, Alabama. It's always a close game, but you never know who's gonna win. Kentucky and Louisville, because Louisville, they're 10. What are they gonna drop to after that loss? That's
36.
probably like 15, 16.
These
honestly.
rankings. Where do you think Florida State goes, and where do you think Ohio State and Michigan rank after this week?
Michigan 2, Ohio State 4, Washington 3.
What are you talking about? I didn't even say Washington, first of all. I said Florida State, Michigan, and Ohio State. And
Florida State stays at 5.
okay, Florida State stays at 5. Georgia, where does Georgia go?
1.
Georgia goes at 1.
Michigan 2, Ohio State 4, and then Washington jumps up to 3.
As much as I think you're in line with what a lot of the writers want, and these idiots, but it's good. They're going to be hard pressed to put a one-loss team ahead of an undefeated team.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Ohio State. I saw something this morning when I read
The newspaper.
one of these idiots. Nah, who reads a newspaper? It's online somewhere. But it's they thought Ohio State would drop down to about 8 or 9.
No, I think they'll stay. I don't know.
I could see them going to 5.
I got a feeling that they'll stay.
I see Florida State going up to 4, begrudgingly by everybody, but they're going to have to because there's only 4 undefeated teams.
The
right
voters
now.
don't like FSU. Like,
No, I know.
don't
I
like
agree.
FSU.
I agree with you. I absolutely. Agree
I don't
with you.
think they'll put them in.
But
Should they? Probably.
well,
Will
I
they?
think
No.
there's going to be there's again it's that whole they're not going to put a 1-loss team as much as they want to. They're
I
not
think
going
they
to put a
will.
1-loss team.
Because you're not going to say no to Ohio State going to the playoff. Like, you know?
So one thing I'm not going to say
Especially when Washington only had a 3-point loss. So
Yeah,
now you
but-
can't justify. You
I
can't
mean, it's
justify.
against a top 30 team. I know they're not ranked, but they're close.
Well, so you can
Close
make an
to it.
argument that the stupid Gators are a top 30 team.
No. No.
They're in the same ranking system as Washington, and Florida State beat up on them more with matter of fact, it was a 9-point win and could have, if they decided that they didn't want to just wind the clock down. That last interception had them well within the red zone. If they wanted to run up the score, they could have.
how
So like I said, I agree with what you're calling out, almost the reality of what the writers want to do, but I think they're going to be bound by certain unwritten rules that state that you can't put a 1-loss team ahead of an undefeated team. I could be wrong.
Yeah. I don't
so
know. I could be too.
how lucky is Michigan that Harbaugh wasn't there for the last 3 games and they won all 3 games and now he gets to come back?
Not lucky at all. I mean, it's talent.
What? So
It's talent. This team is good, no matter who's coaching.
I know, but I think that a lot of Michigan staff and players were worried that, hey, without our head coach, and I know it's a lot of the offensive.
I think they wanted to go out there and win.
Let me
for the team.
let me finish. I think that it's mostly offensive and defensive coordinators that like call the plays, but I think a lot of Michigan players and staffs were worried, hey, we don't have our head coach, we're gonna lose 1 or 2 of these games without Harbaugh and lose our rankings, but they won all 3, and now they're going to still be top 4 with him coming back and them being the good team that they even were before.
No team is going to say that, oh, we're scared to play a rival. They're going to go out there and try and win as much as they can because their coach is not there. They're winning for their coach.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't he suspended for something else at the beginning of the season?
Was he?
Yeah, it's been like the first 2 games.
Yeah,
or
they've
something.
played more games without Harbaugh.
Yeah,
I did not know
they
that.
Play,
Yeah,
yeah,
then-
you got to
then
spend
they-
like the first 2 or 3 games in the last 3.
This is what we call the Barry Switzer effect. So Barry Switzer was a coach out at Oklahoma and retired and blah, blah, blah. He became the first coach after Jimmy Johnson left the Cowboys. And when he left the Cowboys, he left a dynasty in place. So Barry Switzer, all he had to do was go in and not screw it up. And as
what
much
did he
as
do?
he tried to screw it up, that team had so much talent and so much going for it that all he had to do was just show up and be a face guy. And I kind of agree with what you're saying. I mean, I think that's really where this Michigan team's at as well. They're so used to playing this year without him that it's just another rallying point. We're going to win this for our coach who's going to be here because
I mean,
he's broken all these
Why
rules.
not do
When
it for
When you're
that?
playing your rival, you're never going to say, oh, I think we'll lose.
No,
oh, I'm scared that we'll lose. No one's mindset is like that at Michigan or Ohio State going into that game.
You know, there was either if it was conscious or subconsciously thinking like, hey, we don't have our head coach, we're somewhat worried.
No, I do
think
not think
there's
they.
So why have a head coach? Why have a head coach at all?
But that's a great question.
Because it helps, but they weren't worried about it in their mindset
So we're just going to take away that help. We're going to have less help.
because they haven't needed that help because the talent is so good they don't need that help.
As an Eagles fan, there's a lot of times I wish we didn't have a head coach. Matter of
Service?
like Rich Kotite, yeah, please get rid of him. Marion Campbell, please go. Let's suspend him for 3 games, please. You know, I'm sure we'll do better without the head coach making stupid decisions. So it's look, at times Andy Reid was that way. Matter of fact, Andy Reid's always been known for like the clock management that he has is it's amazing how somebody could be so
Only need 13
talented
seconds.
as a coach, but he can't get the. Oh, of course, the one time he gets it right is in the Super Bowl. But
Well, I mean,
nonetheless,
that's the game you get it right. That's good. I mean,
yeah, you're right. And but it's that's the one piece you have. I mean, sometimes you have a coach that'll get in there and make some harebrained going for it on 4th down when you never ever should have.
Dan Campbell.
But then on the other hand, you have the head coach that'll go for it on 4th down when you know you've got all the right pieces in place instead of trying to punt it and then playing prevent defense, and the next
Eagles.
thing you know you're shooting down the field. Again, I think Michigan in this particular instance has had enough experience enough experience of their coach being suspended this year that it really was a non-factor, I think, for this,
And Michigan's
this
beat
particular game.
Michigan's beat Ohio State the last 2 times before that game. So they know they can beat them. They know they can do all this. So I don't think the mindset was, we're worried about that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that their mindset was that they're worried about it. I think, like
You
saying,
said, are they lucky? And I get that. It's,
yeah.
you know, sometimes that's that intangible.
Yeah,
And if you don't have that intangible with you, it's like your mascot.
That's a big boy word. Is that? Are you guys good?
Yeah. Well, Utah beating Colorado to make Colorado go 4-8 after going 3-0, 4-8.
Yikes.
Not good.
But yeah, Prime's not in his prime anymore. Yeah.
I don't. He's a coach.
He's a help.
At the beginning of the season, did anybody think he was going to be great? I think he caught some people off guard and started off strong, and that's when the hype started to occur. When all of a sudden he beat people because they managed to do certain things. But
I mean, Colorado a lot more wins than they had last season, but it's not a good season.
All right. You guys want to move on?
Yeah.
sure.
All right. Let's move on to Hall of Fame. Yay or nay?
Well, we didn't tell anyone. the Hall of Fame yet.
I'm sorry. I completely missed a segment. We have to do pick'ems. Hall of Fame, yay or nay, will be later.
I heard music that wasn't my phone.
And we did forget to tell Andy the Hall of Fame yet or nay.
Oh, Andy.
But
I love Hall of Fame.
But I think we'll know who. I think I know who he's gonna say.
Yeah. So, I won last week, so I think I'm only 1 game down from Micah, and then the guests still haven't won yet. So, Andy, again, if you want to be in the HatTrick Hall of Fame, you got to have a win. All right.
All right.
Got to beat both of us for the week.
Gotcha.
But we're gonna do our NFL pick'ems now. Where did I put that? There we go. All right, so we're not going to do the Packers, Lions, Commanders, Cowboys, 49ers, Seahawks, Dolphins, Jets game because those already happened.
You don't even have to win that many games. It's so easy.
So, yeah, you got the easy week.
All right.
So, Bucks, Colts, Micah.
Give me the Colts.
All right, Andy.
I'll go with Colts as well.
I'm also going to go with Colts.
Wow.
Patriots, Giants, Micah.
Patriots.
All right. Andy.
I'm going to go with the Giants.
I'm also going to go with the Giants.
Come on, Pats.
And then Steelers, Bengals, Micah.
I got Steelers. No Joe Burrow.
All right, Andy. Joe Burrow is out.
Yeah, I am going to go with the Steelers. They'll rally for the fact that they don't have they have a new offensive coordinator. And I think
Well, not really. Interim.
I'm also going to go with Steelers because of the OC and because there's no Joe Burrow. Panthers, Titans.
Titans.
yeah, it's got to be Titans.
I never thought I'd pick the Titans to win a game, but
I like the Panthers. I mean, I'd love the team the Panthers are. They're not.
I'm going Titans. Jags, Texans.
Texans.
Andy?
I agree. I got to go Texans as well on that one.
Go Trevor Lawrence. I'm going Jags. This is just so you can't win. Saints, Falcons.
Give me the Falcons. I think they'll play Bijan for once.
All right, Andy?
Only because I think we've picked every single game the exact same. I will go with the Saints on this one.
I'm going Falcons. Rams, Cardinals. Micah?
Give me the Rams.
Andy?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm also going Rams.
No Josh Dobbs, no way.
It's the Cardinals. There's
Yeah.
talent.
Browns, Broncos.
I've said it before this podcast, but I said the Broncos.
All right, Andy?
I will say the Browns only because they win when they're not supposed to.
I'm going to go Browns because didn't they just lose to the Steelers last week?
No, they beat them.
Oh, the Browns. Okay, yeah. I'm still going Browns. That did not affect my decision. Bills, Eagles. Andy?
I'm going to say Eagles, but it's usually goes against my superstitious nature.
All right, Micah?
The Eagles got to lose to a good team eventually. I mean, I'm going to go Bills.
I'm also going Bills.
Oh, wow.
I already wrote it down before you said it. So yeah, you copied me. Chiefs, Raiders.
I'll go Chiefs.
Andy?
Yeah, the Chiefs will score some points in the second half of this game, and it won't be Valdez Scantling, but they will. Chiefs will win this one.
I am also going Chiefs. Ravens, Chargers.
Let me go Chargers. I have the upside.
Oh, that's the one where I would have gone ahead. It's the I'll take the Ravens.
I'm also going Ravens. And then Bears, Vikings.
Vikings.
Micah said Vikings.
I'll do Vikings as well, since it looks like they're at home.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I'm going Vikings.
Because they have Josh Dobbs.
So,
And he's going to build a rocket.
Yep.
Andy, you have the Colts, Giants, Steelers, Titans, Texans, Saints, Rams, Browns, Eagles, Chiefs, Ravens, Vikings. Micah, you have the Colts, Pats, Steelers, Titans, Texans, Falcons, Rams, Broncos, Bills, Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings. I have the Colts, Giants, Steelers, Titans, Jags, Falcons, Rams, Browns, Bills, Chiefs, Ravens, Vikings.
Okay.
It's good?
Yeah.
Good?
Sure.
All right. We'll see how that goes. And then, is that done? Everything good for you?
No.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going on to Hall of Fame. Yay or nay? There we go. All right.
Two.
So now, part two. Yes. In honor of Andy, our Hall of Fame yay or nay is Embiid.
Oh, so it was just basketball Hall of Fame.
What?
Just basketball Hall of Fame?
Well, for this one.
Well, for this
Okay.
one, yeah, it's different
Yes,
every week.
he's there.
But oh god, we usually go over stats and stuff first. But six-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Defensive, 2022-2023 MVP, 2016-2017 All-Rookie, 2-time scoring champ, and he's played for the 76ers. And
I mean, if you don't let if you let him in with those stats, you got to let everybody in with those stats.
okay, so you're saying those stats don't matter?
No, I'm saying that nobody else has those.
Oh, okay.
Or the people that do are Hall of Fame already.
So he hasn't been playing for that long. When did he? Oh, he started in 2016. Oh, 8 years.
Yeah, but he didn't play his first year because he had a broken foot.
And he still won All Rookie.
He's probably in the second season.
In the second season.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. He's played over 400 games, 27 points
I know my answer.
per game, 3.5 assists a game. Again, this is throughout his career.
So if you know your answer, we can stop this.
50% field goal percentage. And I think that's it. I mean, all right, Micah, Hall of Fame yay or nay, Joel Embiid?
Nay, because he doesn't have a well-deserved MVP. That MVP does not belong to him. I will say that.
Run while you can because Andy's about to punch you.
That MVP does not
I'm not
belong
going to punch
to him.
him. It's just he's the. I'm pretty sure he has the trophy to prove that.
That
it
was
does belong to
Jokic's
him.
MVP.
It didn't say
Oh
his
my-
name on
Jokic
it
averaged a triple-double and didn't win MVP.
because he wasn't the most valuable player.
I mean,
All right.
The trophy says, it's like watch. All right, so I was at the Chiefs Eagles Monday Night Football game. Okay, we were there in Arrowhead, and some schmuck behind me was sitting there yelling, "Oh my God, that wasn't a penalty! There's no in the NFL, that's not a penalty." And the response I had to the gentleman was, "Well, apparently the 7 officials on the field tend to disagree with you. I'm sorry they didn't call you to tell you and get your input to find out that it wasn't one."
Find that
So
guy.
again, unless Embiid broke into Jokic's house and stole a MVP that says Jokic on
he
it,
kind of did. Don't be honest. He may have.
I'm pretty darn 1,000% sure that said
What was Embiid's stats last year? Because last I remember, he did not average a triple-double or close to it.
his stat was, "I won an MVP."
All right, so so Andy, by the way you're talking, I'm assuming it's a yay.
Well, yeah,
He's a
because
Philly
he's done
fan.
it. He's done it. But even so, he's ever since he stepped into the league, he has been the most, if not
With his
one
non-broken
of
foot.
the most dominant centers in
Second
the
best
NBA.
center in the league.
I think Jokic is going to be you're going to work out being a Hall of Famer
Well, yeah,
as well.
he's a 2.5
And
time MVP winner.
So apparently,
Unofficial.
that's the only thing that gets you into the Hall of Fame is being a 2-time MVP.
Yes,
So-
yes, 2.
But it's one of those things that you look and see how he changes. He's changed the game.
I also think
He
he's
has
kind of young.
absolutely changed the game.
If he
So-
plays like 2 or 3 more seasons being as good as he's been, I think it's a no-brainer. But right
and
now,
he's shown no decline
All right.
yeah, that's
whatsoever.
So here's my thing. I'm going against somebody who has a Nuggets fan who thinks the MVP got stolen from their best player, and I'm going against the 76er who thinks he should obviously be in the Hall of Fame. So by looking at these stats and looking at the one MVP that's questionable, that Embiid did end up winning, I think that Embiid should be in the Hall of Fame.
MVP.
I think that you're just jealous, and I think that Embiid,
Jealous what? That Jokic has 2 MVPs?
Yes.
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 The answer is yes.
Yes. But yeah, it's a yay for me. So Micah, Hall of Fame year, nay, Joel Embiid.
Nay for right now.
All right, Andy.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna go with yay. You have to say yay.
Oh, yay.
All right, there you go. So that's our vote. HatTrick votes yay. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys for watching the 22nd episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast. Make sure to check out our website, Shop HatTrick Sports, for comfortable and affordable apparel. You can watch all of our podcasts there and anywhere you listen to podcasts, including YouTube and our website for visuals. And follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for short-form content. And check out AYS Employee Leasing. Thank you guys, and goodbye.